What is up, guys? ShortStack here, and welcome to the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. This is a game that I have wanted to play for a while. Yes, I know it's not FNAF 395, but that's because that video is taking a while. Mainly because I haven't recorded it. But also, you know, just because. The end is never. That's reassuring.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was
It's me!
He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though they'd been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
He looks very happy. Stanley looks
And then
very
one
happy.
day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Oh.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay. Where's the meeting room? Okay, I can't read that.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay. Alrighty then. We have entered the door on the left. We can't go back now. Hello.
Yet there was not a single person here either.
What are you guys
In
planning?
a wave of disbelief,
Oh,
Stanley
wait.
decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Oh, can I? Oh, I can.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
There is very clearly stuff here. I can't pick anything up though.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
You know what? Maybe I will go upstairs. Yeah. You know what? It's fine.
Stepping into his
No.
manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked,
pictures
unraveled,
are
Stanley wondered in disbelief
weird.
who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Oh, what is it?
Incredibly, by simply pressing the buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to enter the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Is there anything over here? Okay, this is just a wall. Button! Me out! Hey!
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley
Where am I
realized
looking?
he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as
I
though he
feel
felt
very
more free to
peculiar.
think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Okay.
Stanley
Ooh,
walked
what does
straight
that
ahead
say?
through the large door.
If light is
that led
on,
to the
call-
mind control facility.
Call exit 914 immediately. Okay, mind control for Ooh.
Although this
I'm going
passageway
in-
had the word
I'm going in
escape
here.
written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
I don't believe you. I don't believe
The
you.
door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had
Nope.
every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
Nope.
At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward
Yep.
and willingly confront his death.
Yep. Whoa! Oh. Oh.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. So he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life.
No, no, no.
Farewell, Stanley.
No, no, no. Let me out, let me out, let me out, let me out.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Okay, I thought it... Oh. 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 I don't know about this.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish?
What's over here? This is really...
When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Stanley's computer. Nope, still can't do it. Office layout. Oh!
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free.
Alright, let's hit the on switch. Boink!
Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another?
No.
No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen.
What is going on? What is happening?
But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail.
What? What?
Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let...
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Yes, yes, yes.
When Stanley
On
came
the
to
right.
a set of two open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well.
Oh, yes, I do.
Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Yeah, I know.
Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring.
It is. It's
It
very
had really
nice.
been worth the detour after all first, just to admire it.
Yeah, I know.
But eager
Yes.
to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Nope.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
What do we got going on here? Pretty, do not lie. If you are lying right now, stop. But I don't want...
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that
Where am
the
I going?
story has been about nothing but you all this time.
Am I going over there? Oh.
There's someone you've been neglecting,
Wait,
Stanley.
can I jump off?
Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now,
I kind of want to go down there.
I'm asking for her.
For her?
This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Oh.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this, to reach out to her.
Let me out!
If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
I don't wanna. Why is that light moving like that? I don't wanna. I'm scared of women. Ah, whatever. Oh. I'm not back.
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven.
What?
All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley.
All right, buddy. I'm not going in there.
Sorry, but you're in my story now. This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley. Stanley is quite a boring fellow.
Okay.
He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
All right. Gee.
Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do.
Oh, you know what?
Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch.
No, I'm not.
Now he's going home.
Nope.
Now he's coming back to work. But in his mind, in his mind he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown.
Why is there a mannequin
discoveries
here?
of new lands. It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
F.
And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth.
Wait, are we gonna see the other
thought
people?
Excited him terribly.
Oh!
So he went further. He imagined that he came to two open doors and that he could go through either.
Yeah!
Last choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold. As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many
My
possible
reality's
paths
falling
and
apart.
destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable.
Tell your kids a story.
It was such a wonderful fantasy.
When are you gonna be gone? I hate you.
He relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time. But there is no answer.
Oh, okay, I thought she was gonna move for a second.
In reality, all he's
I'm
doing
too
is
used to
pushing
playing
the
horror
same
games.
buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets. The more he forgets which life is the real one.
No, this is the real one, right here behind me.
And I'm trying to tell him this. That in this world, he can never be anything but an observer.
Wait.
That as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself.
Oh.
But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
Nothing's gonna happen? Alright.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
A mirror?
I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. and I tried again.
Oh.
And Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried. Hoping coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Alright, what do we got?
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that.
Coffee.
And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk?
Oh.
All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went?
Why was the same room repeating?
Yeah. These rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground.
Huh?
Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment and my wife and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
And it didn't work.
Stanley began screaming. Let me out. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real.
God.
I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
Oh.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
What?
Mariella
The Mariella parable.
Like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk.
Oh.
And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better.
Okay.
Then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Nice. And now we're back here again.
All of his co-workers, Stanley took the first open door on his left. And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Nope. Down we go.
Hey, Editing Axis here. The reason why ShortStack is so cringy right now is because on the day of recording this, he was going as insane as Stanley was 30 seconds ago.
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track.
Yes,
So
sir.
now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here, it's, left. Oh, no, it's to the right, my mistake. No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please?
Wasting my time here.
Now, let's see. We went down right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay.
Okay.
Yes.
You got it?
I've
Okay.
got it now. This story
Okay.
is absolutely, definitely this way.
Gotcha. Cool. Nice. Oh.
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes.
I don't want to.
Okay. We just.
Wait, where am I?
To,
I'm 427, right?
Who am I kidding? It's
There I
all
am.
rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning.
No!
And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top.
Oh man, I love how this game.
When Stanley... Wait, what? No, I restarted. I swear, I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh.
What?
Everything should be... Oh, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors?
Nope.
Did you move the story somewhere or...
Nope.
Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute
You
ago.
gotta pick it up, dude.
I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
Well, I can't go this way. I can go this way, though. These two doors... Yeah, okay, they lead the same way. Had to make sure.
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before.
Shit.
Do we need to restart the game again?
Everyone knows what you
Well,
did.
I find
They're
it
just
unlikely that
holding
we'll ever
back to let you
progress by
fuck
starting
yourself.
over and over again. But it's got to be better than this.
Okay, I was gonna say.
Okay, let's
please
give it
don't
a
let me-
shot. Why not?
No. Whoa.
Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the
Some
story
of the
is
lights are
back
out,
where we
too.
just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything? Aha! I knew we'd missed something. The story. Here it comes. No, wait, never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
Oh, this is weird. Oh,
Now this... Well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley?
I do.
Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations!
All right, that's the end.
You put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off. So, good job. Oh, no, I don't feel right about this at all. We
come
both
on,
know
man.
you didn't put in any actual work for that win.
Okay,
Some people win fair and square,
Okay.
and this was not one of those situations. Okay? I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is.
Same.
I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart. All right,
Parable
I've
Adventure
got a
Line.
solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. Just follow the line. How simple is that?
Follow the Stanley Parable
You see,
Adventure Line.
the line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny.
To Destiny.
Here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Okay, Stanley, I need to follow this train of thought for a minute. Just stick with me. Now, we can both agree that the nature of existence is in fact a byproduct of one's subjective experience of that existence, right? Okay. Now, if my experience of your existence rests inside of your subjective experience of this office, is this office in fact the skeleton of my own relative experiential mental subjective construct? Whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
Now this is some adventure music.
Cut the music, go back and look at that fern. Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story. Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You
Okay.
won't want to miss anything.
I took a screenshot of it.
Wait, what? We're back at the office? No.
The line goes in there.
Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell? Oh, no, not again, Line. How could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've
Well,
been
I didn't
through,
trust the Line.
You... Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart.
Alright.
You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right?
Uh-huh.
Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
Okay. Oh yeah, let's wander in this direction. Oh, we've gone
Now,
into the
yes,
back rooms.
this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be? Go wild. Use
wait.
your imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it.
Okay.
Oh, no, not you again.
You
Stanley,
trademark.
I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No
Yeah.
lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine.
Wait, oh, should I have been, oh. Line knew it. Line knew it? Wait, the line goes through the ceiling. Okay.
Ah, a choice.
Aha!
We get to make a decision.
I like
From
this
here,
one.
the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay, So I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere at the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask,
He's onto
will
something.
taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic.
Ha!
Come, Stanley.
Got him.
Our destiny awaits.
We are. Oh, I was gonna go into the. Oh.
Oh, hold up. What's this? The confusion ending.
Wait.
You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game, what, eight times?
8 times? Oh my goodness.
That's really how all this goes? It's all determined? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing. Wall. Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really? No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the timer stopped?
Oh.
Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The, whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen? So, okay.
Alright.
I guess now we just wait. You know, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story. Wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually.
Eventually.
Well, in the meantime, if you...
What? Oh, the office is different.
Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors. He entered the door on his left.
Okay, I'm gonna just play it all the way through now.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office.
Oh,
Coming
okay,
to a
this is
staircase,
weird.
Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Can I open this door? I can indeed. Panda, oh, why would you do that to the panda? Oh. Panda ain't done nothing wrong. Why are these glowing? Can I go up? I can! Well that was... Oh. I am the most expensive boss.
He began wildly. Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk.
Nope.
That kind of anxiety isn't healthy. So he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music. Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Alright, down we go once more. Alright, now we're back here.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. Although this passageway had the
Okay,
word
it's just
escape written on it, The truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death. But of course, Stanley thought better of it and realized he simply had too much to live for.
Click.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens.
I was up there.
What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
I don't know. Did Stanley have the strength to find out? Leave it in the comments below.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building.
There's one with like
co-workers,
blue on
the
it.
lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
234. 234. Why is it glitched?
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Are there any other ones? Oh, 601. 104 something.
No.
104, 234, and 601.
He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life.
I just gotta push
for he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Let's see here. Oh. Wait, if I turn this on, aren't I gonna have to restart the game?
He found the source of the room.
No hesitation. Just off instantly. Did I get freed?
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine.
What is that?
Himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved.
Yeah,
where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking.
Oh, okay, it is still going.
Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know.
That's a really nice environment.
It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Is that the good ending? It's gonna cut back to my office. Oh, beat the game! Okay. Okay. Alright, there we go. I beat the main story. No.
Oh, new content? What does that mean, new content?
Well, we're about to find out, Mr. Narrator. What darkness lies for me in new content?
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers.
Okay.
After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over.
Okay.
Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content.
Yes.
Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure. Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere or... Oh, there we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it. I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if Oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley.
Oh, it's that way. Well, this just looks like an insane...
All right. All right, let's see. It's the jump circle.
Yo? Okay, that's pretty sick. I'll come back to that.
Is that it?
No.
Surely that's not all the new content. There has
Okay,
to be
wait,
something
no,
else,
no.
right?
My legs finally work. Oh.
Goodness. Another
Another elevator.
Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's
Yeah.
just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content? If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could count to 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And oh, wait. There's more. Very good. Yes. I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is.
Can I jump down there? Nope. Alright.
That's it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's achievements, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test achievement, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable. It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game? And we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend?
Oh. Oh. Mr. Narrator, oh.
Stanley, come over here. In the vent. I want to show you something.
Not right now. Give me a second.
Oh, you don't want to see the cool surprise?
All right,
I made
all
for
right.
you? Well, fine. You're a dork anyway, so who cares?
All right, pal. Fine. Well,
Oh, never mind. You're not a dork.
nut. Oh. The end is loading.
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret. Take a look.
Whoa!
I call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC. You see, Stanley, doesn't the Memory Zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap re-release? Remember back in October of 2013 when the game originally launched?
Nope.
Back then, video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something.
Oh, there he is.
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3, it was all of them, and now it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
End is never.
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect.
Well, it wasn't
It
a
didn't
10,
need
so...
anything else. It didn't need new content. It just needed to be left alone, to spend the rest of time collecting dust in the hallowed hall of beloved video game memories. These were simpler times, Stanley, but I wouldn't give to go back to have it all over again. Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory before. What's this one here? Oh no. God, no.
Steam reviews.
Stanley, it's a collection of reviews from Steam, the online video game distributor. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they?
Steam is brutal.
Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny? I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them. Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness. This is actually quite shocking for me. To be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did, but maybe it wasn't. Oh dear. What an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure. Like I let these people down.
You see what you guys
Perhaps
did to
the
him?
Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered. What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button.
Oh!
A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customers. Yes, a skip button we shall have. And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll pop you forward in time so that the second my incessant droning starts to bore you, with just the push of a button, you'll have zipped right past it. It's what the players have been asking for, and I'm very proud to have delivered. No more listening to me rambling on and on and on. No, no, no. The Stanley Parable is a game for the people. And if the people want silence, then by goodness, that's what they're going to get. Well, don't sit around waiting for me to shut up. Go ahead and make me shut up.
Nah.
Here, we'll pretend that I've just begun an interminable monologue, and it goes something like this. The story and the choices, or what have you. Just yet, no. Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourish. Well, there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right at your fingertips to go poof, and it's all... Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes? It's not unendurable by any means, but it's, well... Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're... Oh, Stanley, you're back. You're back. Oh, my goodness. I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks. I've been sitting here all that time. Just sitting here. Not a single person. Oh, hello. It's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through. I've had so much time. I stopped keeping track after a year. Have you
I killed them. Click. Is it a bomb?
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us. It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic little thumbs-down review and make all of their pitiful demands. But
Well, he's gone again.
the end is never the end, 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 is never the end.
Okay, that was creepy. Okay, I thought I heard someone walking and I was like, huh? Oh!
Oh! Daylight. Hey! Well, this is actually kind of pretty. The area is being retaken by, nature. Oh, never mind. What is that? Oh. I'm free. Where am I going? I have no idea. Oh.
Simply memo. Oh, good. You notice my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
Yep. Ooh. It's over here this time.
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this Ultra Deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this Ultra Deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever, the Stanley Parable 2.
Oh.
Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly re-release with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for. Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential. Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really.
Whoa.
Here we are. Go on. Try out some of the new features.
Hear your name in the game. Okay.
For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want? And of course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people. So with that in mind, my first addition to the game is this button which speaks the name of the person playing the game. Isn't that wonderful?
Pretty cool.
Sorry, I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is. Here, let's have you role-play as Jim to really simulate the full experience of this feature. Just play along. I promise you'll love it. Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim. I want you to imagine yourself living as Jim, sleeping and waking as Jim, falling in love and being heartbroken as Jim, seizing all of the world's possibilities as Jim, and as Jim watching your dreams crumble into dust. Do you feel it deeply? Are you really, truly Jim right now? If so, then please step forward and press the button.
All right. Gym stack time.
Yes, you see, what a
said
thrill,
my
what
name.
a rush.
It
That
said
was
my
you.
name.
The button described you. Do it again, do it again.
Yeah.
Ooh. It hits even harder the second time. If this were the only new feature in the Stanley Parable 2, it would still be worth the money.
Bro.
Let's take a break from
Game
the
of the
gym
year.
button. I'm too emotionally drained from all of this personal validation. I suppose I could allow only people named Jim to play the Stanley Parable 2. That would actually... An epilogue would be fun, wouldn't it, Stanley? Yes, it would go at the end of the, well, we'll figure that out later.
Oh, infinite holes. Sick. Aww.
You know what? Let's bring the jump circle back for Stanley Parable 2 as well.
I knew I should have said
Oh, wait.
jumps.
You already spent all your jumps the first time we saw the jump circle? Oh well. I suppose it can just be a nice decorative piece then.
Dang it. Free achievement. Pull the lever, receive your new achievement.
Now here's something special. You remember that broken test achievement that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the achievement. Yes. You see, you'll come to this... Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the achievement is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear you, and I promise it will happen.
Lied to me.
What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet? Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with?
Oh!
You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. Happy 12th birthday, step-niece, it is.
Okay, that... Oh.
Or actually, maybe I should have gone with... No, I've made my decision, we're moving on.
Alright. Merch! What's up there? The end is never the end again. Alright, cool. Anything else? I can go over to the collectibles, maybe? Ray traced, nice. When I get my 3060, that'll be great. Can you find them? Collect them. Whoa.
Ah, collectibles. Now it's a real video game. In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines. And what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting all of them. I don't want to stifle the intrinsic joy of watching a number go up. You simply collect all of them, and then you move the hell on with your unremarkable life.
Oh. Nice.
God, it really is the worst when you collect everything in a video game and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely tragic.
Yeah, it's awful. The
A common
bucket!
complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well, I'm happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game. It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket. You see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and your heart. It's true. As long as you hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting. You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be honest, it's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? Yes,
Yeah.
the bucket is the perfect solution. Come on, give it a try.
Alright.
Can you feel it? The glow of comfort, even in the face of crushing despair, must already be sweeping through your body. And in
love this
fact,
bucket.
can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well? I think that just holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person. The benefits of the bucket seem to go on and on, don't they? Does anyone give out awards for most enjoyable bucket in a video game?
Nope.
That really should be an award if it isn't already. Stanley, here's an
Oh.
idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is in fact a hole that you can fall down forever. That's right. Infinite falling. You can fall until the end of time if you like. A stunning leap forward for video games as a medium.
Alright, with the bucket. Here we go.
You see, isn't it wonderful? One of my more ingenious concoctions, if I do say so. Now then, since you've gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top, and we can continue onward. Now, I don't mean to be a bummer, but I do recommend you use the teleport button to go back to the top. Maybe do it on the sooner rather than later spectrum of things.
Oh man, we have fallen a long way.
Okay, Stanley, I don't know quite how to say this tactfully, but it's possible that I slightly exaggerated the infinite nature of the hole. Is it a very, very deep hole? To be certain it is. It's an extremely deep hole. I don't want anyone to say that it isn't an astonishingly deep hole. It is. Is it infinite? Well, that sort of depends on your definition of infinity. From one perspective, the infinite is merely philosophical in nature. It's more of a... Okay, well, good for you. You found the bottom of the hole. You found me out,
Nice.
Stanley. I'm a liar and a cheat, and you're so clever. Look, I think the issue here is just that you're unusually fascinated by falling. What normal person actually wants to fall infinitely? I figured the hole was as deep as anyone would actually need. Don't you put this on me. Maybe you're the problem. Look, things got a little heated there. I think we both said some things we didn't mean. Why don't we just put all this behind us and agree to just call the hole mostly infinite? If that works for you, then go ahead and press the teleport button to warp up to the top of the hole and we can move on. I'll just be up here when you're ready.
Alright.
Great. Now, I'm very excited to show you even more of my ideas for the sequel. Oh, for heaven... You see, I was right. The problem is you. The problem is that you like holes too much. Not normal. A normal person would have said, yep, that's an infinite hole right there, goes on forever till the end of time. Don't need to see it all, but not you. Oh, no, 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 no. You have a weird sort of... Oh. Did the hole seem even shorter to you this time? I couldn't help but feel like you spent a little less time in there than you did before. I mean, admittedly, I didn't make an infinite hole, but I didn't think it was that not infinite. Well, I suppose once again there's nothing to do here. If you decide you've had enough of the hole, you can hit the teleport button and come join me up above. Had enough? I'm positively thrilled. I really do. Gosh, how could I have guessed? You're back in the hole. If this starts to become a thing where... Wow. Okay. Yes. I'm starting to become extremely certain that the hole is not only not infinite, but that it's growing steadily less and less infinite. I suspect that I'm starting to hit the point where it's no longer feasible to call the hole infinitely deep, even by the lax overall standards for accountability in marketing. What's going on here? Stanley, I have no explanation for the uncertain nature of the hole's length. Here, let's try something. Let's pop back up to the top, and we'll see if it gets any shorter. Well, there it is. The shame of my life. How is this still appealing to you? I know you're obsessed with holes, but at this depth, I just can't see this scratching the itch. Oh, who am I to judge? You just do whatever it is you're here to do and hit the teleport button when you're ready to move on.
It's not working.
Is the, teleport button not working? You sure? Well, I mean, I really don't have an explanation. It was still nothing. Well, I suppose there is one thing I can do to fix this.
Restart the game?
I'm out. Goodbye, Stanley. You couldn't bear to be away from the hole, and now you'll get more time with it than you could ever have asked for. It's a win for everyone. You get to be with the hole, I get to do literally anything else. Take care, Stanley. I hope you and the hole have a wonderful rest of eternity together.
Oh!
Why does he look like that? Stanley in his bucket. Oh. Oh, God.
Stanley? Stanley? Stanley!
Oh.
Oh, good, you're awake. It seems you had sort of dozed off there, drifting away into dreamland. But we can't have that, Stanley, because this hole is just so darn fascinating that I want you to be wide awake for every second of it.
No.
You don't want to miss a single moment. So
Why?
how about if I just pop in from time to time and wake you up to keep you really, truly focused on the hole? From the looks of things, you and I will have many, many years here in this hole. And I'm looking forward to all of them.
I want to look.
Stay alert, Stanley. I'll be back. Toodle-pip.
Looks like I got my wish. Please.
Here we are. Go on. Try out some of the new features.
Well, I am going to leave this episode of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe here. If I missed anything, please be sure to tell me in the comments, because I really do want to go through this game at 100%, just so that I be sure that I see absolutely everything. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Hit that like button if you liked it. Subscribe, turn on those post notifications so that you know whenever one of these videos come out. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see all of you in the next video. Bye-bye.